Did you hear that the old bathhouse at Ojo Caliente burned down?
No.
Mhm. About a month and a half ago.
Wow.
The original bathhouse.
Yeah.
It's like well over 100 years old.
Yeah.
Burned down, unfortunately.
Do they know why or how it started, or?
You know, I don't know, but with a building of that age and as corrosive as that water is down there, probably electrical.
Yeah,
Would be my guess.
and the wood is
That's too
old,
bad.
Yeah.
old growth wood.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was like log and adobe and sticks and, you know.
Well, a lot of times they were still building, and doing insulation with straw.
Oh,
My
yeah.
dad had a casita, or actually it was a larger than a casita. It was a real casa that was out of Old Town in Albuquerque.
Oh, nice.
And he still had one room that had the oiled dirt for the floor. And when you did any work and you got into the ceiling, it was all stuffed full of straw for
I
insulation.
can't imagine that old oil floor being carcinogenic at any level.
Oh, no, never.
No. Kerosene,
But it was amazing though how it looked like one big Saltillo tile.
Huh.
And you could,
Yeah.
you could basically clean it like a tile and stuff, but it was just dirt that was oiled.
Not much dust.
No,
Fun stuff.
Did the
Yeah.
tables come on yet?
I haven't seen.
So the applicant will just ask them to be patient.
Yeah.
So we don't, we only have 4 people, right? Don't we have a quorum?
Well, we have 4 regular members and we have the 3 alternates. But I had heard from Bobby that he's
but we only have 4 people. We have 3 vacancies. Don't we have a quorum?
Well, let me look. I don't know whether we can actually go less than 4 or not. Let me try to.
I would think a quorum is
Isn't it
just a majority of
percentage of active members?
Well,
people fill positions.
I haven't looked at it in so long.
Yeah, we can't
Let me
count
look at it real quick.
vacancies or we'd never meet.
Yeah. Let me just look at it real quick.
I think we've got a quorum.
I think you may be right now that you talk about it. Boards and commissions.
What do you think, Dylan? You're supposed to know this stuff.
I think 4 is required from what I remember, so I'm kind of curious to see what you find.
I mean, on things on the planning commission, you have to have 5 more than
For a
12,
variance, yeah.
variance, but I don't think we have that.
Well, the only thing I saw on tonight's was the material change of appearance, new builds for Tweaky up there on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's really the only.
That's the only one. I went up there today.
Who's going to build that?
I think
don't
the
know.
architect was Wheeler.
Yeah. Do you think he's going to build it?
I don't think he builds anymore, but he's the architect.
No. No, thanks, sweetheart.
Well,
I'm not seeing.
Title 17 says a quorum means a simple majority of the commission.
Which one is that?
1704030 in the definitions, quorum.
So that
You're
would
looking
be,
in the, okay.
So if you have 4 active members of a commission, even though
We've
you have
got
3
it.
vacancies, if you have 3 of the 4,
Yep.
then that's a majority.
Okay, well then I think we're in good shape.
I think we've got a quorum. Yep.
All right, well, let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. And I think I will do that. It is now, look at my time here, 6:17.
6:17. Yep.
The meeting is called to order. And each of you want to introduce yourself so we have it on record, and then Tamala might come in a little bit into it. So go ahead, Ann.
Ann Nichols. Doug.
Douglas Edmondson, Commissioner.
Enjoy Porter.
Michelle Anthony, Senior Planner.
Okay.
Dylan Becker, Planner 1.
All right, thank you. First item of business is the approval of the minutes. I read over them. I didn't see any mistakes, but sometimes I miss them.
Nope, look good to me too. I'd move approval as presented.
Okay,
I second that motion.
and all in favor, say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Raise your phone.
Yeah.
I don't believe on the next item, we don't have any unfinished business. Michelle, I don't see any or didn't have
No
any.
unfinished business now.
And so now we'll go to the MCAC 2007 or 2007. The material change of appearance certification, construction of a single family residence and garage, 0 Manitou Terrace, addressed as 118 Manitou Terrace. Todd Liming of the Planning Matters applicant on behalf of Roger Tariki, who is the owner. Michelle, do you want to go ahead?
Certainly.
Tamala's
So,
here.
oh, Tam's here. Let's let her go ahead and come in, and that way she'll get the whole staff report.
Great.
Hey, Tamala, you're muted, just so you know.
You don't click over the little red hand. I just learned that. Okay,
Right.
sorry about that. Okay,
That's all right. I just was starting the staff report.
okay, I got it.
All right, so this is a request for construction of a new single-family home on Manitou Terrace, which is one of the higher tiers of residential area that we have in town. It is in the Agate Hill subdistrict, and staff has provided the characteristics of that subdistrict. The overview of the proposal is a 3-level home that steps back from the lowest level nearest the street up the hillside. It's sited about 18 feet from the front property line, a little bit farther if you look from the edge of the road, and about 14 feet higher than the road grade. Square footage of the home is just over 1,400 square feet. Total square footage with the decks is just over 2,000 square feet. The style is arts and crafts. There are a series of street facing 612 gable roofs over the various building levels, and the entry porch on the west side, which is at the 2nd level. The roof overhangs feature exposed rafter tails. The mix of roof heights and gables and sizes and the exposed rafter tails add visual interest and break the roof into varying planes, which is also visually reduces the building mass. Stone cladding at the lowest level is proposed, as is stucco cladding above the stone and decorative shingle siding detail in the gable ends. Wide flat trim around windows and doors with a thicker top pediment is proposed. Traditional railings around decks and up the access stairs from the driveway are shown. Simple windows and doors with a 3-light configuration over a larger single light panel are the pattern within each unit, and those are in a variety of sizes. The front door detail isn't provided. The door is minimally visible, and a divided light transom window is shown above the door. 2 single width garage doors on the side loaded garage, which faces west, away, not facing the street, is proposed, and architectural style asphalt roof shingles in a gray-green color are specified, and the stone facing retaining wall around the driveway and parking area, and providing steps to the entry staircase will be included as part of the project. The guidelines and additions for new construction and site improvement guidelines are provided in the staff report. 5.1 is regard to building alignment. Staff's noted the location on the property, that about 18 feet back from the front property line and approximately 14 feet above Manitou Terrace. There is not a standard alignment in this area. This really is the first house for a number of lots in this area, and there's quite a stretch between the first house on Manitou Terrace, right where Cave Avenue connects, and this house. So there really isn't a strong alignment, a building alignment, and even the houses down below, the one owned by the applicant that would be just in front of this property, and then the 201 Spencer White Tower, that those are not cited strongly on a grid pattern. So this appears to be acceptable as far as the building alignment, and it's largely dictated by the configuration of the lot, the buildable area on the lot, and location grade of the road, and grade requirements for the driveway access onto the property. That's also one of the aspects that has driven some of the design on how the lot is accessed and where the garage was located. Building orientation, the front entrance is actually oriented to the west at the side of the proposed home. This places the entrance over the garage and adjacent to the driveway and parking areas. There's not a neighborhood pattern to conform to in the immediate area. Staff mentions later about some of the architectural details providing almost, when you look at the building, as you're coming up the street, you're seeing kind of the side of it and the pattern of the front. There's an element that almost looks like it would be a covered porch. So there still is some of that architectural detail that has been provided. The building height, calculated height, will be under the 25 feet allowed in by the zoning code. Additional height is not requested from the HPC. The height is consistent with, and actually probably lower as far as the building itself, than some profiles prevalent in the contributing structures in the sub-district. This will sit prominently because it's going to be higher off the street, but the structure itself is not overly tall. Mass and scale, the design features 3 roof gables of varied heights and widths facing the street and roof ridges parallel to the street. This provides both interest to the front elevation and reduces the appearance of width and mass from what could have been a significant roof area under a single ridge. The covered porch attached to the large uncovered deck also provides interest and reduces building mass in that area. The smaller building sections, the areas of detail, and changes of materials lend to the human scale of the house. On first look, staff thought this was a larger home than it actually is. At under 1,500 square feet of building under a roof, this is a very moderate sized home and is smaller than many historic homes throughout the surrounding area. In regard to building materials, as noted, the building will be clad in a stone like that used on the owner's carriage house located south off of Manitou Terrace. An option the owner may want to consider is using the replica greenstone used by the city. Given the colors being used on the home's exteriors, that could make for a striking addition to the house and bring the historic looking material into the area. Stucco is proposed as the main wall cladding with wood look trim around windows, and fancy shingles are specified in the gable ends. Staff notes the architectural style of the home traditionally used simpler patterns and materials. Therefore, simple square butt shingles are recommended, or the owner may want to consider the use of something like vertical board and batten, which staff initially thought was the proposed gable material just from the way that it was drawn in. Materials for doors and windows will need to be specified. In regard to the roof form, get this down here. The roof form utilized throughout the design is simple and consistent with those found in the sub-district. The arrangement in a more complex pattern adds visual interest and keeps the roof from appearing monolithic. It also bridges the more typically complicated Victorian roof lines found in the sub-district and what are usually simpler roof lines from the arts and crafts into the contemporary area. I don't know if that was intentional, but I found that to be pretty effective to kind of bridge what you see is a lot more fussiness, I guess you could call it, with Victorian homes. And so this I thought was a nice way to kind of echo back with, but still maintain the arts and crafts style. Roof materials, dimensional asphalt shingles are specified in tones of gray and green, like the material used on the owner's carriage house. In regard to porches, the actual porch on the proposed home is on the west facing side. Given the setback from the road and the actual access to the property, placement of the porch as shown makes sense and is appropriate to the site and to the building design. The architect has incorporated the smallest gable on the lowest level of the home visible from the street, which replicates the roof pattern of a street-facing porch. When I initially looked at the perspective drawing that is included in the packet, and I saw that smaller portion of the house with the little roof on the front there, I initially thought that was a porch, and then I looked again and realized it wasn't. So you still get that feeling from the design. In regard to stone retaining walls, bridges, and stairs, the use of a stone wall around the parking area is proposed, and steps leading up to the grade to the connection with the entry stairs addresses the excavation necessary to site the house and provide for parking and turnaround area. This also provides an opportunity to visually connect the house to the land by using stone cladding on the base of the house and the retaining wall. There are no significant stone walls on Manitou Terrace in this area, and so having some stone, I think, helps bring that in from the historic area. Lighting, there are light fixtures. I believe that the applicant, Mr. Liming, had emailed me today. I think he was talking about fixtures that are shown on the photos of the existing carriage house that Mr. Tweewick built and a couple of years ago. And so you can look at that, and certainly I've asked him to further clarify that when it's when he's up for discussion with the commission. They would still need to provide specifications on the lighting showing that they are downcast, which they do look like they are, and that they will not interfere with drivers on Manitou Terrace or disturb other properties in the area. Integral color, roofing, stone, grout, and concrete. The applicants provided the roofing color. The final stone and mortar material and color will need to be submitted for planning staff, a review and approval, if that's acceptable to the commission. Stucco is noted as tones of green. However, stucco is frequently painted, so staff considers that color choice transient. The use of any concrete visible from the street is required to be colored per the city's accepted mix or as approved by staff to blend with the surrounding soil color. So public comment, the property's been posted, advertised, and the mailed notices went out. Staff has received no public comment on the proposal to date, and no issues involving zoning requirements or platting of the property have been identified. So staff recommends the proposal maintains the character of the Agate Hill subdistrict and its established character with a slightly more contemporary appearance in this area that's on the edge of the historic development. Staff recommends approval of the single-family house at 118 Manitou Terrace based on the information in and provided with the staff report submitted November 12th, 2020, with the finding the request is consistent with the purpose of the historic preservation regulations to promote compatible architectural design of infill structures and with the conditions 1 through, I think it's 5, yeah, 1 through 5 as noted. And I'm available for questions.
Does anyone have any questions yet?
No.
I just had
Nope.
one. Did you, Doug?
Yeah, actually, I got a couple.
Yeah.
So there's nothing specified about the front door. They're not saying, I mean, I would think, do you know if they're building this as a residence or a speculative?
I'm not sure whether which it is.
Okay.
I couldn't see enough detail on the drawing for the front door.
Mhm.
It's not directly visible from the street, so
Sure.
it wasn't as highly, of a high concern to me, but
Sure.
certainly we could ask that they provide that door as well.
I
Not
just, just out of,
materials, but the
I would
design.
recommend that they would do something that was obviously in kind as far as that craftsman look. I mean, I would, and
Sure.
so same thing with the garage doors too. I mean, that is three panel garage, 3 or 4 panel garage doors, just, overhead door company could provide something a little bit more spicy. As far as the design, I mean, they're going for what they're going for. I really like it. The look is great. I mean, that arts and craftsman style works. There's some bungalows up on Cave and Spencer,
Right.
that are in tempo with this, that are in concert with those designs. So, I just would just out of prudence make sure that those doors were. I would think they would anyways. I don't know why I'm asking.
Well, I mean, it's always good to ask, and I think maybe talk to Mr. Liming about it. He might be able to fill in some more information than what I can.
Okay, no, that's it. I'm good.
Michelle, I just had a question on the height. On the drawing, it had it at 2410 inches, so it's a couple inches under 25.
Right.
And as I understand, it's going to appear taller just because they take the middle part when they go from the top from the bottom elevation.
Right.
And so it's going to look taller than the 2410. But
Yeah,
it's on the hillside.
Right. It climbs up the hillside. So there may be building elevations that are actually above that 24, although it is climbing up the grade.
Yeah, okay.
So you're gonna see it meets the calculated height.
Yeah.
But it also will appear taller because there's about a 14-foot grade, a 14-foot grade increase before you get to the structure. So it's sited up on the property, although the bottom level of it is sunk into the property. So yeah, I mean, your perception may be that it's taller because it's sited up there and you're going to be able to see it, but the actual building is not overly tall.
Okay, and no neighbors have said anything, so they're not doing that. The other thing on the lighting.
No, and frankly, we can't control or protect somebody's view.
No,
if
I'm not
it's
looking at the view. I'm just looking at the height because I know from my neighborhood.
right.
On the lighting, my concern is that it really is down lighting because I think we need to have more of that now. And
I agree.
it just is, things are being lit up all over and
Sure.
and
Like I said,
that it's
Mr.
down
Liming,
or is shielded.
yeah, Mr. Liming contacted me. There is, I looked in the packet, there is a photo, and I think this is what he was referring to, and he can certainly confirm that. There's 2 photos of Mr. Treeweek's carriage house that's across the street, and on there you
Mhm.
can see, I believe they're proposing the same fixtures. They're kind of that, I call them kind of a barn fixture, but it's the crook neck and it's the shade is on top, and so it's downcast.
Okay, I just want to make sure of that for the road safety, but also just for Manitou and lighting.
Exactly.
You don't need to light everything up. I think that was all my questions. Does anyone else have any more? I guess at this time, we'd like to hear from the applicant. Mr. Truicki, would you like to state your name and address and tell us about your new house?
Is Todd also? Oh, I think both of them are maybe there
Yes.
together.
We are. Hi, Michelle.
Hi,
How are you?
good. There you go.
I'm here with Roger Trewick in the carriage house at the beautiful dining room table in the carriage house with John Wheeler sitting right beside me and
Right.
asked. Hello.
Hello.
So yes, we have been participating remotely in the meeting so far. We've been listening. And if we happen to get cut off between, I'm Todd Liming with Planning Matters, 438 North Prospect Street, Colorado Springs, Colorado, 80903. I'll let John and Roger introduce themselves in just a second, but I want to get the most important thing on the record, just in case we get cut off. And that is, we concur with Michelle's summary, in-person summary of the staff report. We concur with the staff report and the 5 conditions.
Thank you.
Hello. Hi, Joy.
Hi, how are you?
I'm just fine. I want to very quickly conclude my comments, but I listened to a couple of questions about 1, lighting fixtures, and 2, height of the, or the appearance of the height of the structure. I'll let John Wheeler respond to the second question. Concerning the lighting fixture, it is a gooseneck. It's an exterior, kind of a gooseneck, I think attractive lighting fixture. And with the correct, I think the correct light bulb, a CFL or even an LED light bulb, which works well outdoors, it will go well up into the fixture, and the lampshade, the dark lampshade, will in fact serve as a cutoff shield. So the lighting will be downcast, focusing on maybe the entryway or the garage, and and the lampshade will serve as that cutoff shield. So it meets the city standard that
Great.
I happened to create for the city 20 years ago. So we're meeting that standard. I think Roger will happily be working with Michelle on the locations where these exterior lighting fixtures will be, but I can imagine at least one over each of the decks, probably 1 near the front door and probably 2 near the garage doors. So that's a rough number, maybe 1 or 2 more, depending on the need for nighttime lighting, downcast nighttime lighting. Does that address your question about exterior lighting?
It does.
Thank you. Okay, but thank you for asking. And I did email Michelle and Dylan. I want to acknowledge Dylan. Both Michelle and Dylan have been extremely helpful thus far in the process. We met, one of the last things I'm going to say is we met on pre-app in City Council chambers way back in July. Roger, John, and I sitting around a configured table, a T-shaped table, masked and distanced. I have my mask here. And as a result of that pre-app back in first half of July, John has made a series of site plan and building design changes that I'll let him describe. I think that covers the things that I'll let John also talk about the front door and any details. I'll let Roger address maybe the garage door that I heard Commissioner Edmondson talk about. So I think that's all I'm going to say unless there's a question for me. So if I don't get to say anything else before the end of the public hearing, thank you very much for your volunteer time on behalf of the city. I don't happen to live here, but I am a Manitou lover, and I care intensely about the community's success. So with that, I hope that the commission would consider approving the MCAC request. So I'm done unless there are questions for me. But Roger? Do we need to do anything else?
I have no idea.
It looks like we, can you still see us?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. We lost you for a second. I did ask Roger, I think his daughter here, who is helping us with the technical side of it, Melissa, is she did take a photograph of the posting of the sign, just to put this on the record. Roger secured it to a nearby shrub or tree to make sure it was upright, and it is right on the edge of the right-of-way property. And
Great.
I think you can read it there. So thank you, whoever at the city created the sign, and Roger kind of helped keep it vertical.
Dylan does those wonderful signs.
Well, thank you, Dylan. That's another thing I needed to thank you about that I didn't know about. So with that, I'm gonna be quiet and turn it over to John, and I'm gonna mask up. So this is John Wheeler, the architect.
Hello,
Hello.
I'm John Wheeler. I reside at 1813 Grant Avenue, Colorado Springs. The front door we would see as being a dark stained wood, vertical wood slat door with just a minimal piece of glass. And it would be intentionally designed to fall within the craftsman style.
Great.
And
Ooh.
considering the building height, I was looking here, I wish I had the exact elevation of the rear road as it does its hairpin and come up behind the house. And just looking at the west elevation, I'll hold it up here. I'm saying that the highest ridge will be between 10 and 15 feet above the roadway surface itself. There, are you getting a good view
Yeah, I have it in.
of it? Or you can look on the sheets that you would have in your packets. So we're really settling into the slope of the hillside that's there. We're on a steep slope. And along with what Todd has said, we really agree with the description that Michelle has given us, and feel like she's been very good at describing the appearance structure of the building, style of the building.
Thank you.
Okay.
Roger, do you want to say anything? Do you want to introduce yourself?
Not necessarily, but I will.
This is the applicant, Roger Treeway.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Roger.
Hello. I just wanted to show you a picture of these lights that I took at night. I don't know if you can see that very well, but they do shine down and back towards the building.
Roger, move her to your right. There you go.
To my, oh.
Yeah, there, to your right,
You're
our
right.
left. Nope. But
No.
almost keep the other way.
This my other way.
His left.
Go his
Is
his
it his
right.
left?
Maybe go that way.
That's just not helpful, is it? Oh, there we
Yeah.
go.
There you
There we
go.
go.
Oh,
Yay.
There it
There
is,
you
the
go.
sweet spot.
We got it.
That's it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
Cool.
you can see very little light gets above the fixture.
Yeah, see everything
And it's
nice.
kind of towards the building, so they're pretty discreet, and they're a motion light too, so they're
Nice.
not on all the time.
That's great.
All right, that's really all I had.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, John had said he had some changes, or was that something he was going to talk about?
Did you want to talk about any of the changes between the
Well,
pre-app?
yeah, I'm not aware of any changes that are,
Okay, you were just.
should be mentioned. We're just not, 100% designed at this point. We thought we had given a good preliminary
Uh-huh.
description with the elevations and that little perspective.
Yeah.
If anything, the perspective may be a little oversized because I really didn't have any way of projecting dimensions in. This is pretty much just as a sketch showing the the profile of the building. And size-wise, I think it would be actually a little smaller than that perspective.
Conceptual perspective.
Conceptual perspective.
Does
Yeah,
any-
I would not be surprised at that either.
No, it's a sort of, I wouldn't either. Does anyone, any questions from the commission of John or of Todd or anyone? No, or the applicant?
Nope.
We okay? So at this time, we can close the public meeting, and there's no one commenting from the neighborhood, is there, Michelle?
There's no other attendees.
No
No other attendees.
So let's close the public meeting and have discussion on the commission. I want to thank the applicant and John and Todd for what they've been doing. Any discussion?
Well, I really like the project. The north elevation, thank goodness the windows are gonna break up that mass. I mean, not that that's gonna be that visual. You might be able to see from the highway though. I didn't drive by to see if you could do that. And so I'm always real big about, these big massive sides with no windows, and it just, so it just kind of breaks up that scale. I mean, the project looks so clean. I don't see any issues.
Good.
Oh, the stone.
Oh, yeah, using the green.
Forgot about the stone.
And Michelle, you offered the idea about the Manitou greenstone, right?
Just something I think it would be nice if they would consider. But
Really
I
nice.
think as long as there's a good stone profile, then that's fine. I just wanted to throw it out there to see if they would
Yeah.
consider it.
Their excitement is amazing. I just they're just coming forward right away. Yes, rock, it'll be great.
But the pricing between the Manitou cultured stone and other cultured stones really isn't that great, is it, Michelle? I mean,
No, and
it's all liquid,
especially
as we call it in our
it is a special order, although CNC keeps a certain amount in stock now.
Yeah.
But
I don't know
also
if
I
it
think
would
the
necess-
city's going to be ordering some, so
I don't know if it would necessarily be a requirement because, I mean,
Yeah.
as long
you
as they
just-
use that little thin 2-inch stuff, which I can't imagine because that's more expensive anyways,
right.
So probably more full-bodied be indicative to, the use in the area. Most of those houses
Right.
have that foundations throughout there, mainly rubble foundations. I don't know of any concrete foundations up in that area.
Yeah.
No, which I think is why they use the more rubble looking stone on the carriage house.
Yeah.
So either one I think would be fine.
Yeah, I mean, that's Agate Hill. I mean, that's all, it's heavy topography, and they probably, back in the day, some of those houses, they literally just picked up what was laying on the property and used it.
Absolutely.
Trust me.
There's going to be a lot of rock in.
I
in
got a lot of
this.
rock. I know all about rock walls.
I can't even imagine.
Michelle, you can approve the color of any of the cement work, or that has to be either the pinkish color or whatever matches into the soil there?
Yeah, I've had a few instances where the soil color varied to a great degree in just a few areas of town where the pinkish red, it was not the best choice. And so we came up with something that matched the dirt basically. But yeah, I mean, the fallback, one way or another, it should be colored.
Okay. And then you could approve that in planning
Yes.
when it comes through. Okay. Well, we're a talkative group today. This is well prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really thorough and.
It's not a gooey project. I mean, it's straightforward.
Yeah.
It's not
Yep,
messy.
It is.
I liked projects like this.
Yeah, John Wheeler designed our house, so
Ah,
good at design.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. He was, yeah. So I guess we're ready to close the discussion and go ahead and have someone make a
motion, and I would do that. I would move for approval of MCAC 2007 with the finding in the staff recommendation that it maintains the character of the Agate Hill subdivision, and with the 5 conditions listed in the staff recommendation.
I second it.
all in favor, say aye or raise your hands.
Aye.
Motion passes. It is approved. Congratulations.
Great.
Thank
Yep,
you very
good
much.
project.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And I think
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut him off there.
Nice, Dylan. That's
Great.
why we're so popular.
People are just trying to get on our commission.
Sorry.
Actually, we're a nice group, and so I think. So let's
Yes.
move on to other business, and that's the historic district survey plan. Michelle, is that just going to be the letter that was in the packet?
Yes, this
Mhm.
it's just an update from Felsberg, Holton, U of Ag. They did note that they've modified their approach a little bit, decided to hold off, doing some of the public outreach until they had the real bulk of background documentation done, which they're planning on doing the public outreach toward the end of January, so that it doesn't interfere with holiday schedules, and people should be coming out of their Christmas comas by that point.
I don't know.
So that's a minor, just a minor amendment. A lot of times you find that the way you start sometimes isn't always the way you end. So there's just that minor modification. They've spent almost 45% of the project budget. A lot of behind the scenes work, and it'll be really exciting to hear more from them when we have that presentation in January. So it's just basically to provide you guys that status. I am going to have a meeting with them probably this next week to talk about the mapping, and that's something that Dylan is involved in. So he and I will be meeting with them and probably their GIS people, because part of this is for us to start doing an interactive map, so somebody could bring it up and be able to see contributing, non-contributing. Do we have a survey on the property? A historic survey? Do we have any historic photos? A myriad of things that we can add over time to that as a resource, both for the commission and staff and for the public. So we're pretty excited about that. And so we'll be talking with Felsberg, Holton, U of Ag next week about it.
Okay. Sounds like they're making progress, and I always like it when they adjust to meet our needs rather than just the other way. So it sounds
Right.
good.
Yeah, I do too.
Any questions of Michelle or anything? Carry on.
Nope, it looks good. Looks good.
Yep.
And the 21 budget, Michelle, is our next item. I was at that meeting. Well, Zoom meeting, not the other one. So
Right.
go ahead and update us.
Well, I actually don't have anything beyond that meeting. I just wanted to let you know that it appears that everything that we had submitted to council is going through. And so there's going to hopefully be some funds to do some things in 2021 that we've, been trying to get to, and that seems like everything from budget to COVID has been conspiring against us. But I think there's going to be some good things that shake loose this next year. I have been discussing with the people that are doing, I don't know if all of you are aware that the Housing Advisory Board has been doing a project to help a certain number of people here in town do energy and sustainability upgrades. So there's a company that we've contracted with that also has gotten funding for energy efficiency upgrades to low to moderate income persons, homeowners that will do an evaluation of the property and then do improvements. So like if you need a new furnace, or if they need insulation, or, you know, low flow toilet, or just all of that kind of stuff. I talked to them about, because there are a few of those properties that we're going to end up potentially eligible, and the housing board has asked to continue that program and actually increase it a little bit in 2021. And so was talking to them about potentially adding a window rehab component to that, either associated with the overall projects that get approved, or even as just a standalone. You don't have to do everything else. Maybe you just, you know, have some windows rehabbed or something. They were very interested in that. And so we're going to talk some more about it and see if that's something that they could undertake. It doesn't mean hundreds of windows getting rehabbed every year, but at least the projects that would get certified for this other program, we might be able to throw a little money toward it and get the windows done at the same time, or a portion of the windows, instead of them coming forward and offering or recommending window replacements. So that's something that we'll be reporting back with you all, and maybe trying to come up with a coordinated program in that regard. And then we also want to talk more about amending the mini maintenance grant, upping the level a little bit, maybe working out some kinks as far as approval and follow up and all that kind of stuff, and even potentially targeting certain improvement types by allowing them some additional funds or something. So we'll be talking more about that in the next couple of months, because I'd like to get that established for people that are going to come in the next few months, so that we have it in place. So
for example, the house that we just approved up there, they could come to us for a grant for their wall. They were going to use the Manitou greenstone or something.
Yeah, it's we probably need to talk more about that, because we generally have not done it for new construction. It's only for existing historic. And so if you have a non-contributing building, no, we wouldn't allow that. It really has to be for an existing contributing, or one that the work you're doing makes it contributing. Hey, I want to take all that aluminum siding off the house and put, you know, replicate the original siding. Okay, well then, you know.
You would help. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah. So I think that's, maybe I'll try for this next meeting to have more information on both of those programs, so that we can try to hit the ground running a little bit in January, to get things all figured out, get it on the books, get it approved by council, you know, see if we're going to do something in coordination with the HAB program, and you know, kind of get it all set up. So we'll talk more about that in January.
Okay. Thanks, Michelle. That was a good summary of the budget.
Good.
Good. So I guess any council action? I guess there was 2 on the things that we approved before. Didn't they accept them?
Yeah, I don't have anything that I have to report that wasn't accepted. So I think you guys are in good shape.
So I guess we can adjourn.
I think that's probably it.
Did we make
Very good.
40 minutes? It's a good meeting. Yeah.
Merry Christmas,
Yeah.
everyone.
Very good.
Thank
Nice.
you.
Alrighty.
Yeah, Merry Christmas
See
if I don't talk
everybody.
to you all again.
Okay, thanks.
Alrighty.
Stay healthy.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.